A great weekend, man. All the way around.
Oh, my God. So many different sports going on. So much holiday festivities. It goes by fast, though.
When I was in Florida, the two biggest games on television, definitely not the NFL games. There were some bad ones there. Definitely not those early bowl games. There were some bad ones there. Who do we play in that men's game? Gosh darn it. That was a really good game. Was it Zags?
Zaga?
No, not Zags. We were there at Clubhouse for this one. It just happened.
Xavier? Butler?
Xavier. It was a Xavier game. Xavier was back and forth. Butler was a good game as well. We only won by 4 on that one. That was on the road. But that Xavier game and the women's versus USC game, like all the places I went to down in Florida were locked in. And these aren't Uconn people. These aren't Connecticut people. These are just random people at a bar locked in on those two basketball games. And just those two programs are again, people need to realize the vast greatness of the brand.
No, the brand's national. It's worldwide. We just, when you're here, I think people don't get it. You got to get outside of yourself here in Connecticut.
So we've had some good ones over the years, and over the weekend, well, really, what was this, Friday, Thursday, Kurt? We were goofing around here in the studio. Kurt was goofing around on the internet and found a list of lists. Now, I think this has been moving around because I have heard people talk about the list in the last couple of days.
This was Christmas Eve. It was published.
Okay, Christmas Eve, published by SI.com. Now, Sports Illustrated has gone through some things in the last decade, and, God bless them. They're still out there doing it, putting lists together. Now, let's see if you agree with these lists. The list is the top 10 greatest basketball players in Uconn history. Wow, are you ready for this? Are you ready for this list?
I'm ready for it, because I can go back to Corny Thompson and some of the other guys when they were bad. So they've had some really
Corny
good players.
Thompson, not on the list. Not on the list. There's one that is not on the list that these people don't know the importance of this person at UConn, and that's our friend Chris Smith. He is not on the list.
Chris Smith was a hell of a UConn player.
But the list starts with number 10, former CCSU head coach Danielle Marshall. No national championships. He only played for 3 seasons. Consensus first team All-American 1994. That's a pretty good one to start the list. I mean, how many All-Americans do other schools have?
Yeah, I mean, listen, it depends. I'm looking at a different list, and they've got Danielle at 8, but I'm looking at some of the guys in front of him.
Interesting.
Khalid El Amin, no way. Danielle
number 9.
was so much better.
Khalid El Amin,
no
number
That's
9.
Not even close. Donnie Marshall should be in the top 5.
Maybe this is why. Big East Tournament MVP in 1998, also Big East Rookie of the Year. He does have a national championship, something Danielle does not. Oh, national championships. Number 8, very important player. Newbie. Has he turned 21 yet? Donovan Clingan, 2 seasons, 2 natties, Big East all-freshman in 2023. Number 1 in box plus minus in UConn history. Number 5 in usage percentage. I don't even know what that is. They use them a lot? It's being used.
Yeah.
He played 15 minutes a game his freshman year.
I was going to say, yeah.
His sophomore.
I
love Donovan, but he's not in my top 10.
Number 6 in blocks per game. Number 8 on the list is Donovan Clingan. Number 7 just got his number lifted to the rafters. Number 7, 2 seasons, 2 natties, consensus first team All-American last year, Final Four MOP last year, Bob Cousy Award winner last year, Big East Tournament MVP last year, first team All-Big East last year, Tristan Newton, number 7. You
What
like that?
list is this from some 25-year-old guy? That's insane. Not even close. He can't hold a
Little
candle
recency
to
bias.
Kemba Walker or Rip Hamilton or any of these guards.
He's 7.
Ray Allen.
Tristan's 7.
I mean, that's insane.
All right, you haven't mentioned this guy at number 6, 3 seasons, 1 natty, Big East MVP, first team All Big East, no All-American status. Number 6, Ben Gordon. I don't know about that one. I love me some Ben Gordon. Don't get me wrong. But maybe I'm one of those 25-year-old guys that just love Tristan and Donovan. I would put them both above.
Yeah, I mean, Ben wasn't even the best guy on his team. Emeka Okafor was.
Whoa! That is true. That is true. Number 5, he's also on my top 10 ever golf next to list. Ray Allen.
Ray.
Number 5.
Number 5. Who's number 1?
0 national championships. Consensus first team All-American. He's got that under his belt. Plus Big East Player of the Year. That's 1996, along with that All-American. Big East Freshman of the Year and 2-time All Big East.
So we're just going
96.
stats here.
Kurt was reading how they break this down. Now, this is all based
Who's
on
they?
UConn.
Who's they?
Sports Illustrated. Sports Illustrated is basing this all on UConn's success.
The guy that's left at Sports Illustrated.
The one guy that still has an office. It's kind of a closet, but he's writing top 10s at Sports Illustrated. So he's got some cred. Okay?
And was
doesn't know anything
supposedly-
about UConn history.
Not that far off.
He's way far off. You're out of your mind. These guys aren't even close to Rip Hamilton and Kemba.
Number
and Ray
4,
Allen.
Richard Hamilton. 1 national championship under his belt. First team All-American in 99. Second team All-American in 98. MOP Final Four 99. Big East Player of the Year. 2-time 98-99. First team Big East 98-99 and All Big East freshman in 1997. Number 4, Richard Hamilton. I loved him. I always thought him and Tayshaun Prince, when they got on the same team, that was trouble for defenses because those dudes never sit still. They are always running. Rip Hamilton, the master of the baseline J. No one hits a baseline J better than Rip Hamilton. A little right inside the three-point line. You forgot about him running off the screen at the bottom by the block. Psh, money in the bank. Always Rip Hamilton. Number 3. Mentioned already, 1 national championship under his belt. First team All-American in 2004. Final Four MOP in 04. Big East Player of the Year 04. Big East All-Freshman 2002. Emeka Okafor. Best Bobcat in the history of Charlotte Bobcats, too. I know we're not talking NBA here, but Emeka Okafor. Not many on that list of best Bobcats. No, that's a short list. I think the top 50 is everyone who's ever played. Number 2. I don't think Dibbs has even mentioned number 2 yet. You've mentioned Rip. You mentioned
If
Ray.
they say Ryan Boatwright,
Oh, man, that would warm my heart.
I'll kick this guy in the nuts.
I love Ryan Boatwright. He's still hitting a jumper somewhere.
Right.
Isn't he on the basketball team? The tournament?
He is.
I think he's on that team. Are those basketball team stats in this?
I don't believe so.
Oh, then that's why Boatwright's not
Yes.
on it. Of course.
Just the college.
Number 2, you haven't said him yet. 2-time national champ. 2014, first team All-American. 2014, Bob Cousy Award winner. 2014, Final Four MOP. First team All Big East 2013. Big East All Freshman 2011. Shabazz Napier.
Oh, my God.
Oh, my
So
God.
ridiculous.
Dude.
He's not in the top 10 of UConn all-time best players.
had one of the
that's
best
ins-
runs in the history of the game.
A great run because he was on a great team.
On a great team.
These aren't great players. You're talking top 10 all-time best UConn players.
Let me give you some Shabazz Napier's tops in UConn lore. Number 1, games played, 143. Never going to be.
He started as a freshman.
Number 1, minutes played. That goes a long way. Number 1, free throws made. Dude he shot a lot of them. Number 2 in steals, 2 in win shares, 3 in assists, 3 in three-point field goals made. I did not know that about that kid. Number 4 all-time in points.
You know who's ahead of him that's not on your list? Tony Hansen.
Not on my list.
Yeah.
No.
Scored more points than Shabazz.
Why is Tony Hansen? Well, Tony, how many national championships? 0.
Your list about national championships. We're
All-Americans.
talking best players.
0.
This guy is a geek on national championships. So he's talking about the last 10 years.
A little bit.
Yeah.
A little bit. Well, this
You're
one
not
goes.
talking about the Calhoun years. And like you said, Chris Smith, all-time leading scorer in UConn history, not on that list.
I'm surprised Chris
Idiotic.
Smith wasn't
One of the
on the
biggest
list, yeah.
shots in UConn history.
First thing you got to go to.
Know
is the
some
all-time
UConn
points.
history before you write some piece like that.
Number 1, all-time greatest UConn player ever, goes all the way back to 2011. Kemba Walker, first team All-American 2011. 1 natty, Final Four MOP 2011. Bob Cousy Award winner 2011. Big East Tournament MVP 2011. And the best point guard in Charlotte Hornets history. I'm sorry the Charlotte NBA franchise really screwed up these.
They did. But, I mean, honestly,
James Book night,
in
right?
my mind, besides Chris Smith being the all-time scorer, I mean, Ray Allen's either number 1 or number 2, or Rip Hamilton.
Wow, number 1 or
Kemba
number
Walker's
2.
top 3. But, yeah, some of these other jabronis, not even close to top 10 players. Just because you won national championships, you need a good team for that. Doesn't mean you were a great player.
Now, put this in your pipe as well.
Tony
when you're
Thompson,
smoking
by the
it.
way, 6th all-time scorer when they weren't good back in the 70s and 80s when I was growing up. 1,800 points on some awful teams.
Now, I think Kemba, Shabazz, and I don't think Carmelo falls into this list either, but I think those are the only 2 that have ran the table in the Big East tournament and then ran the table right after in the national tournament.
And remember,
back when it was a bigger
back
tournament.
when the Big East was the Big East, and Georgetown was amazing,
And
St.
men were men.
John's was amazing, and some of these teams that just Syracuse was amazing, and you brought up Carmelo Anthony. That's why these guys didn't win Big East championships and didn't win national championships, because the Big East has been great for 40, 50 years. So, that's why I'd argue with this list of somebody that's in their 20s that's only seen UConn basketball for the last 20 years.
I would probably push Shabazz down a scotch.
Yeah.
I probably would take Ben Gordon off. No disrespect, love him, and I'd flip-flop that with Chris Smith right there. I'd put Chris Smith 2, bring Shabazz to 6, and Ben Gordon leaves the building, unless he wants to take Danielle's spot. No disrespect, Danielle.
Yeah.
I know he gets upset about that.
Hashim Thabit was amazing.
I love Hashim Thabit.
Tate George was a hell of a player.
Yeah.
There's so many of these guys in here that I'd have to go through their.
You guys remember Boone? I was a big Boone fan. Those dreads, those like half dreads he had. He's playing in China right after for a while. I know Detroit messed him up for a little bit. Booner. Dude was great.
I was sad when I saw Tristan Newton playing in the minor leagues, man. I'm like, that dude's
He's killing it right now.
He's killing it. It's like.
He's killing it. Sanogo's killing it.
But you got to play.
Give him
You got to
any
let him
time.
play, though. I mean, hopefully they get their time.
Yeah, hopefully they stick it out. Like we were talking about Peyton
Josh
Pritchard.
Boone, is that who you're talking about?
Josh Boone. Yeah. Where's he
Josh
on your
Boone.
list? Top 20? Top 25?
He's top 20.
Nice.
Over 200 blocks in his career.
Yeah, he was a block machine. Plus he was
So Mecca Okafor, 441 blocks. The Beat, 417. Remember Amita Brima?
he
367.
No way.
367 blocks.
Brian, he used to be your favorite.
Travis Knight, very good player.
Yep.
I mean, there's some really good players. Yeah, you can't just go by national championships, but obviously
Kemba Walker,
that's
number
how
one.
this guy valued these players.
Yeah. Kemba Walker.
And they're all great.
I love him.
All great players, by the way.
There you go. I'll try to get some more lists here.
Please don't go with Sports Illustrated list.
Yeah, that might. I don't know. They're not doing too good. Maybe we'll give them a month, see what they come up with. We'll be better than ever.
All right, we'll take a quick break. We'll come back. We'll talk some playoffs. College football obviously is going to expand in the next couple of years, and Jim Moore Jr. in his contract has a incentive for
Playoffs?
making the college football playoff.
Oh, let's talk about that.
So we need to talk about that. Also, some other guys hitting their playoffs. Zach Ertz, $750,000 in incentives made last night.
For those touchdowns.
The catches put him over 60 catches.
Love it.
The yards put him over 600 yards, and the touchdowns all kicked in $250,000 incentives. So incentives are very big in people's contracts, especially when you're not making like other college football coaches. We'll talk about all that stuff, and also Week 18 in the NFL next on the Rob Dibble Show. Ben Darnell on your afternoon drive. Kirk Kaplan on the ones and twos, and John Ashmead is on our YouTube channel.
Wow, we're